Hello and welcome to week 15 of NFL Gamepicks. Man, oh man, it's coming by very fast, and the games are tough. The picks are even tougher, and our records don't get any better. But one thing that did get better was the Dolphins' overall record. They improved to 6-7 on the track to hopefully get to 500. They got a big game against the Houston Texans this week, so hopefully Dolphins can right their wrongs this season and keep it moving forward. But who else wants to talk about their squad?
Well, it was another rough week for Bears fans. Not much to say here. We're all looking forward to next year, I think.
Yeah, pretty sad week. Crappy loss, 3-point loss. We played really hard though. Good overall game against a tough opponent in the Detroit Lions. Still really kind of not really over this one. I don't know. I was saying that I kind of want to play the Detroit Lions again in the playoffs more than I want to go to the Super Bowl. I just want to face them again one more time. Even if they eliminate us, so beat it. I just hate this team so much. I hate seeing them have success. I know everyone thinks that they're the underdog story and everyone loves them and that they want them in the Super Bowl. That's not me. I'll cheer for literally any other team than this team. I cannot stand them. I'd rather cheer for the Dallas Cowboys. Potentially, I mean, if it came down to Vikings, Lions, I'd choose the Vikings over them. I really just can't stand this team because they keep beating us. I mean, they're a good team. That's probably why, and it's the heat of competition. So I guess I just really want to see my team beat them when it really matters most. But yeah, hoping for a good bounce back week this week against Seattle.
There we go. All right, let's hop into the standings. We got Steve on top, so he's absolutely destroying the competition. He went 10-3 last week, 14-2 the previous. He's at 152-56. I mean, I think he has an insurmountable lead right now. The next closest is 145-63. That is Jillian, and she went 11-2 last week. Good week by them. Hecty in third place with 144-64. And then we're going to jump down to seventh place where we got Chrissy.
Yeah. Whew. Tough week again for the boy. Last 2 out of the 3 weeks, I've gone 7-6. I'm way down here in seventh, 135-73. But a bounce back week is incoming. Don't you worry about it. Where you at, Joey?
I'm dead last. This sucks.
I'm dead last.
I went 8-5 last week after having a 15-1 week. The week before that, I mean, yeah, me and DJ are tied for last, but overall, because he had the 0-16 week
as well,
and I had the 0-15.
He felt bad for you.
Yeah, so he contributed, but yeah, dead last doesn't feel too great.
Well, last week we didn't notice it, but you went 15-1, which is absolutely stellar. And myself, I went 8-5 this past week. I'm in ninth place, 126-82 overall on the season. We got to give a big shout out to Anthony. He went 13-0 this past week.
Damn.
Only undefeated record of this past week, which is very rare. I don't know why I said it like only undefeated record. I mean, that's a very rare feat. Try again when it's a full slate of games. So let's see if Anthony can, back-to-back weeks, perfect games. That'd be pretty insane, but...
I thought you were ahead of me.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I definitely thought you were ahead
It's
of
all
me.
good. It's all good. Yeah, but I'm going to keep us pushing to the Thursday night football action. We got an NFC West divisional battle between the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. This matchup is pivotal. I mean, we've been saying it about each and every time these NFC West teams have been playing. They're just all neck and neck with each other. And a win for either team whenever they face off could sway the division drastically. But I think this Los Angeles Rams team is going to come off that big-time performance against the Bills and get a win against the San Francisco 49ers team, who is down in the dumps in terms of injuries. I mean, they just have had a plagued season one, obviously with the Christian McCaffrey injury. Trent Williams is not really having the best of years. Deebo Samuel is not having the best of year. Brandon Ayuk's out for the year. So this team has had a lot of issues throughout its season, but this Rams team is going to lock down a win because they got a lot of firepower, and hopefully they didn't cool themselves down from last Sunday's action.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with the LA Rams here as well. I really like what I saw from them. I mean, how does Josh Allen put up the most fantasy points in history? Or since like 1950 or whatever. So basically in history. Because I don't think they were playing fantasy football in the 50s. and still the Rams win. That's a true testament to their team late in the season being able to say like, hey, this division is still close. We have 4 more games down the stretch here that are going to be big moving forward, and our division, if they keep stacking losses and we keep stacking wins, we might be able to pull this thing out. So I'm going to go with the Rams here. I think that they're much better shape than the 49ers right now health-wise.
This is tough because I kind of want to take San Francisco, their home team. They killed us last weekend. Despite being really, really banged up, like you guys all mentioned, they did beat us pretty decently. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to ride with you guys. I agree with what you guys are saying. The Rams offense is finally healthy. They're actually looking really good. That team's playing well, and they're getting hot at the right time. But I'll go ahead. I could take us to this next game. We got the Baltimore Ravens playing the New York Giants. Giants announced today, I think Tommy DeVito is going to be the quarterback. So I don't think it takes a genius to figure this one out. I'm taking the Ravens. They're probably going to win. They're obviously the better team. So, yeah, enough said. Giants stink. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Ravens here, too, as much as I want to go for Tommy DeVito and the Paisans. Hopefully they play Dominic the Donkey when he comes out of the tunnel. That'd be kind of cool. It's that time of year. But I'm going to rock with the Baltimore Ravens here. They're obviously the better team. They're a Super Bowl favorite at 8-5. One of the top teams in the AFC. They're going to roll past the Giants here. Although I think the last time the Ravens lost to an NFC team, it was the Giants or something like that.
Up until recently this year, the Baltimore, with Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens had not lost to any NFC team ever, except for Daniel Jones-led New York Giants. They just lost to the Philadelphia Eagles this year, so that's the second time Lamar's ever lost to a NFC team. I don't think it happens this week. I think Baltimore keeps it rolling. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson just got named to the 99 Club in Madden this year.
Wow.
And they were gifted custom gold cleats to commemorate that honor. And, they're playing like it. Hopefully they can keep things rolling. They had a hiccup against the Eagles recently. They're coming off their bye. They're facing a lowly New York Giants team. Tommy DeVito is fun, but I don't think it results in a win for the New York Giants. I'm going to keep us pushing to the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. Cincinnati got a big win on Monday Night Football, and the Simpsons cast was pretty fun. I know Joey had a blast watching, so hopefully I can save some stuff for him there.
Yeah, it was fun.
But man, they're playing the Titans. You got to give me the Bengals. They may be a sneaky team down this stretch and ruin a couple playoff teams to see what their schedule shapes up to be. And then on top of that, just trying to make a playoff push if they can even manage it. It's going to be tough, but it could be possible.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to take the Bengals. They're definitely the better team, and I think the Titans are probably trying to lose to play for the draft and maybe potentially find a Will Levis replacement. I am interested to see how Will Levis does against this defense, because this is one of the worst defenses, and he's one of the worst passers in the league right now. So maybe he'll have his best game here, and maybe it'll be close. But for now, give me Cincy. I think they're the better team by far.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with the Bengals here. Definitely the easy pick. Bengals should be a lot better than what they are right now. I feel like we all know that. Simpsons game was really cool last week. Loved seeing the final touchdown. Bart throw that 40-yard pass to Lisa Simpson. She stuck her foot in the dirt, juked Homer out, went right into the end zone. It was sick. Won me my fantasy matchup and went me into the playoffs. Sent that clip to my buddy a couple times. That's what knocked him out. It was kind of fun. But yeah, rocking with the Bengals here. Skyline Chili's dope. Bengals could be probably getting into the playoffs here soon if they have a lot of things going their way. But it's going to take a lot. I think the Dolphins need to lose 2 games. Yeah. Broncos need to lose 3. And somebody else needs to lose 2 more. So they need a lot of help, but I think that they're going to try their best to try to get that. I'm going to take us to the next game, who was the other team in the Simpsons game, the Dallas Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers. This game kind of stinks in my opinion. Both teams are pretty underwhelming so far, but I'm going to rock with the Dallas Cowboys here. I think that they've been pretty okay the past couple weeks. I know that they lost last week, obviously. But the week before, they looked pretty decent, and then they had that win over Washington as well. They haven't been looking too terrible, but they're still not a good team at all. I think they're the better of the two terrible teams in this case, so I'm going to rock with Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas, like, similar situation as Cincinnati. I will give them the credit that they don't have Dak. At least Cincinnati's healthy. They just things have not gone their way. But give me Dallas here. I love what I've been seeing from the Panthers as of late, but we all know Dallas is a better team. But who knows? That injury to Overshown may be, very detrimental to already, bad season to this Dallas Cowboys team. He's been one of their defensive MVPs. Micah Parsons walking off the field. I know, the clock was expiring. Let's not over exaggerate. We all can tell, like, hey, clock's running out. He's just going to the locker room early, but it's still bad sportsmanship. I understand you're upset of like the last second loss, but it's still just not very good. Like, he's been pretty problematic. Let's see how things, end this year for him in Dallas.
That injury was pretty gross. It looked really bad, and I think it's like definitely the second time he's had like a major knee injury. So that's kind of sad to see because he seems like he would be a really good player. But yeah, like you said, Joey, I think Dallas is the better team. This is one of the. I think there's a lot of bad games on this week's slate, and this is one of them. I guess Dallas is the better one. That's what I'm gonna take. But yeah, not super confident. I don't know. Carolina could honestly. Bryce Young hasn't looked too bad as of late. He's looked a lot better. Let's just say that. As of late, so maybe they get a surprise win because Dallas has been very beatable all year as we've seen. So I'll take us to the next game. Get the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cleveland Browns. I wish I could take the Browns because I do love me some Jameis. A lot of people are talking about maybe benching him again, and it's just like, man, let my man start the rest of the season.
That sucks.
Yeah, he might not be the best, but he's at least exciting, and he gives us a couple good quotes at the end of the day. So I'm taking Kansas City, of course. They're 12-1. They're going to be 13-1 after this. Easy play.
Easy game to pick here. Going with the Kansas City Chiefs. Jameis Winston has looked terrible. Great guy, terrible football player.
Strong for a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns.
Let's move on.
Yeah, the last game they had against the Denver Broncos, he set a Cleveland Browns passing yard in a single game record, and unfortunately it resulted in a loss. And that's just the nature of Jameis Winston's game. He's gonna throw it out a lot. Yeah, he's gonna throw it. Essentially, because the Broncos really didn't stand a chance in that game, and somehow, some way, they won because a lot of defensive plays, aka like pick sixes, big time interceptions. So that's the way Jameis Winston lives and dies, by his own creed. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. They are a legit team. And, it would be really freaking hilarious, so if they did lose this game. That would be absolutely funny. Because, you lose to a big-time heavyweight like the Buffalo Bills, and then you lose to a Jameis Winston-led Cleveland Browns team who is having a horrible season. But I'm going to keep it moving, and this is probably one of the better games on this 1 o'clock slate. Like Chris said, not too many good games here. We got the Miami Dolphins at the Houston Texans. Now, I know Dolphins still not at 500 yet, 6-7. You can thank Joey's team for that problem. We would have been a whole different situation. But yeah, 6-7 Miami Dolphins at the 8-5 Houston Texans coming off the bye. No more byes for the remainder of the season. That was the final one this past week. Dolphins hopefully get a win here. I'm gonna rock with Miami. The Texans have not looked as good as everyone expected to as they started off the season, because obviously injuries started to mount up. You have that Stephon Diggs injury, which I think has been absolutely huge in terms of lack of success. The Nico Collins absence due to injury was a stunner, but he's coming back to form, so that's going to be interesting. I would love to see how he plays against this Dolphins secondary. Aside from that, Joe Mixon has a ability to run all over this Dolphins defense, so that is the big concern in terms of how the Dolphins will be able to limit this Houston Texans offense. We also have Houston's linebacker who concussed Trevor Lawrence. He's suspended for this game, so Dolphins don't have to worry about that big menacing presence and Tua's health and safety. So
true.
But yeah, give me the Miami Dolphins. They have found ways to get things clicking. Get John Smith the ball earlier and often, and I
He's a
think that would
beast.
result to a lot more success. Yeah, I mean that whole overtime drive was just Johnny Smith. So
Did you see he's like close to setting like the tight end record for the Dolphins for yards?
yeah, he's like being a historical
Yeah.
tight end for the Miami Dolphins right now, and like he's barely like
Not saying I
having a
called it,
massive
but
impact. You know.
I kind of called it.
Yeah, I mean John is legit, man. I love him. So
Love
hopefully, they keep things rolling, keep getting him the ball. I think that would be great success.
I'm interested in this game for sure. Both teams kind of struggled all year, and now they're kind of getting a little healthier and trying to make a playoff push, but they've struggled against bad teams as of late, both teams. I'm a rock with the home team, I guess, and take the Texans. I'm not super confident. Miami, I still need to really see like a full game to really be confident in them beating Houston at home. But like hopefully they do for your sake, Austin. Being back at 7-7 would be huge to make a playoff push.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with the Texans as well. I think the Dolphins can probably win. I mean, look, they've looked pretty good these past couple weeks, and especially against the Jets. I mean, that there was kind of a little bit of a shootout there, and I liked what I saw. But overall, I feel like the Texans are more of like in the mix, and I think that they can clinch a playoff berth with a win in this game. So ultimately, I'm going to rock with the Texans here. I feel like they have a lot more to play for in this moment, in this game. And overall, like moving forward, they're going to be like one of the top teams in the AFC. So, yeah, I think this is an easy pick here. I'm going to rock with the Texans. But nothing to take away from Miami. They could make a run for it.
I definitely agree with you. This is a big prove-it game for both teams. Because, yeah, Miami, the record is not great, but they are playoff hopeful. And, you want to shut the door on these type of teams if
Right.
you're the Houston Texans. And then vice versa to the Miami Dolphins. You want to, ascend and beat these playoff teams.
This game lets you right in. I mean,
Yeah.
they dropped to 8-6. And then
Yeah,
you guys
because
are
the Colts are.
7-7.
The Colts are right on the Texans' tail.
Mm-hmm.
So the Texans don't want to drop this. Dolphins definitely don't want to drop this. I think this is a must-see game in the 1:00 window.
Green Bay East, the New York Jets, traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. Both teams suck. Jets are officially eliminated from playoff contention. I think that would mean that the Jags are as well at 3-10. Don't know officially, but I do know the Jets are eliminated for the 14th straight year from being a playoff team. It just overall sucks if you're a Jets fan. This game sucks. I think I'm going to rock with the Jets, though. I think they're going to keep playing Aaron Rodgers until the very end of the season. And this team is just more talented on paper than the Jags are right now with the Mac Jones starting and everything that they got going on. I'm just going to rock with the Jets here. I think Doug Peterson's job is end up getting lost in this season, and he might go elsewhere. We'll see what happens. But Jets stack a win here and for morale.
I agree. I wish I could take the Jaguars, but I'm going to take the Jets because, like you mentioned, I think they're going to end up, winning some games here at the end of the year just because they're still going to play a lot of the starters, at least for now, and just kind of see the year out. And I think the Jags are another team that's probably kind of looking towards that draft lottery and trying to get a quarterback or trying to get Travis Hunter or who knows. I guess Trevor Lawrence is their guy for now, but like I've mentioned, I don't know if that's the case forever.
Are you out on Trevor?
I think I would be if I was the Jaguars in that organization. Yeah, I think I would. But I don't know what you could get back in a trade, perhaps. But I don't know. Maybe he's also had 3 or 4 head coaches in his 3 or 4 seasons. So I don't know. Maybe get him a better coach, see it out. But they're definitely trying to play the draft and hopefully get Travis Hunter or somebody like that.
I think they need to make a big play in the draft and either whatever pick they end up with, either trade out of it, accumulate a ton of draft capital, similar to what the Bears did.
True.
Or, you make that big splash, you get Travis Hunter, you get one of these hopefully instant key playmakers for their team because it's been lacking. Obviously, injuries are a big part of it. I would hate to see Trevor Lawrence lose his job in Jacksonville due to just an injury-riddled season. That would be very unfortunate. That being said, I'm going to go with the New York Jets. I think they are obviously the better team. Hopefully, Trevor will suit up for this game. I doubt it, though. That concussion seemed pretty gnarly. But I'm going to keep us pushing to this next game. We got the final 1:00 game. We got the Washington Commanders at the New Orleans Saints. I'm not going to waste too much time. Derek Carr got injured last week. and the Commanders are coming off a bye, so hopefully they come out fresh. And Jaden Daniels is reassesses how he's been attacking the season, which hasn't been bad, but try to build off of the success they have had and continue building it because they've hit a slump. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 games. So you want to see this Washington Commanders team, still make that push because they're still competing for the NFC playoff picture. So I think Philly might run away with the division, but Washington can still be a very competitive wild card team.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Washington as well against the Saints. I hope they get into the playoffs. I think that would be a really fun team to see in the playoffs. I think Jaden Daniels probably hit that rookie slump or that rookie wall maybe. Now they're coming off the bye like you mentioned. They've lost a couple games. Reset. Rest of the season starts now. I'm going to take Washington. Hopefully they get the win here and keep on winning and sneak into the playoffs. Maybe upset like another team or something like that. They'll be a fun and frisky team in the playoffs.
The Commanders got to win this game. This is like a cupcake game for them. They're 8-5. They're the 7th seed in the playoffs. They're between us at the 6th seed and them, we're 1 game apart. So I have to cheer for the Saints to win this game for to cement like the Packers playoff terms and whatnot and kind of hope they clinch. But this is a big game for them, and then I think they still have to play the Eagles so far, and then I forget who else down the stretch. So there's not too many like gimme games like this left for Washington. So I really think that they need to stack this win, and I think that they do. But I'll take us to the next game. We got the Buffalo Bills traveling to Detroit to face the 12-1 Lions. This is a big game here, guys. I think this might be one of the best games of the season so far. It at least has potential to be, especially after the performance that Josh Allen had last week. Like I mentioned, best fantasy performance like ever since the 50s when nobody was playing fantasy football. I'm going to rock with the Bills here. I think that the Lions are having the sense of... I haven't really seen the Lions come back from a deficit this season, or maybe I just am not really remembering it, but I feel like they get out to a lead early and often and then kind of tend to play with their food a bit and let teams back in and try to just win in close game scenarios. These past couple games, especially against Green Bay and Chicago, both were within field goals. So it's definitely kind of interesting the way that they are getting their wins, but they're 12-1, so no discredit to them whatsoever. But I think that the Bills team is pissed off after that Rams loss, and they are going to respond very well against one of the teams that they might even see in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, Joey. Like, when you win, you win. And, like, you can't discredit it. That's why It's hard to discredit what the Chiefs are doing. It's hard to discredit what Detroit's doing. You could see some of their faults, for sure. But I think that's just them playing out the game and not being cautious, but more so just like, all right, let's get out of here as we can and not, because they've been injury riddled and somehow, some way they've just absolutely have been able to keep up that success and keep up that next man up mentality. A lot of the injuries are on the defensive side of the ball, I will say. The offense has been a pretty much humming unit all season long, so that's been what's been their saving grace. So that's why I also think that their defense is like letting up points late in games and allowing teams to come back. But, man, they are facing a real threat in this Buffalo Bills team, and this is so hard. You got, Buffalo, tough loss last week. It was pretty much all Josh Allen, like Joey said. I wish James Cook would have got a little more involved. I don't know. That's 4 fantasy points in a game that's like 40-something to 40-something. Like, that game was crazy, first of all. There was no turnovers in that game, and both teams got 40-plus points, which is absolutely wild. I think Buffalo, unfortunately, drops this one. Give me the Detroit Lions. Detroit's wearing their black unis again, but not the All Blacks. They got white pants on for this one. But, dude, this Detroit team is legit, and I think they stunned the Bills. I think it's going to be a close one, though, like Joey said. There's a lot of close games for this Detroit team.
Yeah, this game is going to be awesome. Like you mentioned, it could be a possible Super Bowl prediction here, which would honestly, I'd be okay with it. Both these teams have never won before. I'd be cool with it, especially because my dad's a Lions fan. But this week, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen is on track to win the MVP this year. He's been awesome. I know Lamar and probably Burrow might have better stats maybe, but just the way he's winning these games and backpacking this team to win sometimes, I think it's incredible. I love watching the Bills and him watching him play. So I'm going to take Buffalo in a stunner on the road in Detroit. I'm looking forward to all the reporters that are like, well, how do you... Good thing Josh Allen knows how to play in the cold out there in Detroit. And it's it's in a dome. It's in a dome. Yeah. It's inside.
I have to agree with you though. Like, if this isn't Josh Allen's MVP year, then when will it be?
He will
I know
never
Saquon's
be.
having an amazing year, and I would love to see a running back win it, but
that would be cool.
Come on.
I think we need to see a little bit more out of Saquon for him to get the MVP. And it's no hate towards him. It's just like when you have Josh Allen doing what Josh Allen is doing this year, like, it's going to be very tough because it's always been kind of like quarterback driven, right? So, you need a LaDainian Tomlinson type of year. You need to be like the focal point of your team and like absolutely like killing it. And like he's killing it, but I don't think he's the absolute focal point of his team. But, you take Saquon off that Eagles team, they're not having the same success. So that's like the argument. But you can say obviously the same thing for Josh Allen and the Bills. This is a big prove-it game for Josh Allen. You want him to win the MVP, he needs to go out and dominate this game and win. And that's how he gets that MVP trophy, because this game will be a big resume, addition to the MVP race for him. But Chris, why don't you take us to this next game?
All right, we got the Indianapolis Colts going to Denver to take on the Broncos. This is a pony game here, huh, boys?
Yeah, it's a father and son battle.
Yeah, a little horse battle. Battle of the horses. Indianapolis has been kind of up and down this year. Don't really know how to spot them, honestly, just because you never know what you're getting from them. Denver's been pretty consistent. Bo Nix might be still on track to win that Rookie of the Year. We'll see what happens. He's going to have to get a couple more wins, and I think he does at home here for the Broncos.
I'm going to agree. Broncos are getting this win. Colts have been coming back slowly but surely. And like you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the Texans, like they're kind of like right on the heels of the Texans for this division. I think they're like 2 games back. But yeah, Broncos, I feel like 8-5, the way that they've been winning games, they're rolling right now. And I know it's not like pretty. Like I was saying earlier today at work that I don't really watch too many Denver Broncos games just because they're just naturally a boring team to watch this season. Like, they're not an entertaining team. The only time I'll probably watch a full Broncos game is if they ever play my team. But I'm going to rock with them here. I think that they get the win. And overall, I think Bo Nix might win Rookie of the Year if they make the playoffs and the Commanders don't. Because Jaden Daniels has had that award like locked up since week 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of the offensive Rookie of the Year stuff. Like, Bo Nix has been playing really good, and he's been very beneficial to this Broncos team, but he's not the reason they're winning a lot of these games. Like, in turn to Jaden Daniels, who I think he's a huge reason why they're winning a lot of their games. Like, he is the engine that drives that team. The defense for the Broncos is a little bit more of the engine there. They're the ones that, determine whether or not this game is either going to be close or not. And, the Colts have been having some favorable close matchups this season. So that would be interesting to see if it is close, if the Colts can come out on top. But I'm going to go with the favorite here. Give me the Denver Broncos. They've been looking too good on both sides of the ball. Offense can be a little bit better, but that's just, at this point, it's just nitpicking and just, wishing things were a little bit different for them. But, hey, Sean Payton's, righting his wrongs from the previous years of Russell Wilson, and Bo Nix is looking like, the right pick in the draft. So let's see if it really pays off and they keep rolling and keep on pushing towards those playoffs. I hope not, as a Dolphins fan. I hope one of these teams ahead of the Dolphins start dropping, but it seems unlikely. A lot of these teams are really good. But I'm going to keep us moving to this next game. We got the New England Patriots at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals got a bad loss to the the Seattle Seahawks last week. And then New England just not having the year they're hoping for, or maybe they are. Maybe they did want a high draft pick and not have a winning season and stuff like that. And this is a must win for the Arizona Cardinals. You're not completely out of your playoff picture for the NFC West, so every win matters, and I think they need to get a big one here against the Patriots in Arizona.
This is a really, really interesting game because I'm looking at the standings like right now, and like if Arizona beats Seattle, they move up into second place. But then if San Fran beats LA, then it's a 3-way tie for second place with only Seattle a game in hand. So that this division could be really, really tight. I said it earlier, I don't think I'm a take the Patriots again this year. I'm going to take the Cardinals. And honestly, I love the chaos. So hopefully they get a win. They keep things interesting in that division. They've been very hot and cold this year, but they're at home. And the Patriots have been really bad. They just have people like quitting on them like last weekend. I think a wide receiver just quit on the team basically, or they sent him home or something like that.
Did he pull Vernon Davis? He just left that.
Yeah,
halftime?
so basically, I'm gonna take the Cardinals at home against the Patriots, but I'll keep us moving.
Hold on, Joey didn't even get
Oh,
it again, dude.
I'll keep us moving. Let me finish to my boy Joey over here.
I'm gonna go with the Birds here too. Give me the Cardinals. I don't like how Kyler Murray's been playing down the stretch. I think he's been playing Call of Duty way too much. The game against Seattle was pretty ugly. Those 2 picks really cost him the win. I like the way that James Conner's been moving the ball, but I'll take it to this next game.
Okay.
Got a battle of 2 PA teams. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. 10-3 Steelers, 11-2 Eagles. Pretty great game. Wouldn't have thought it going into the season, but now it's. I'm really excited for this game actually. It's really tough here because the Steelers have just been looking really good, and I feel like they can. They have the roster that's built to beat this Eagles team. They can run the ball very well with Najee. They have explosive wide receivers. Russ has been balling. I like what they do with Justin Fields, where they bring him in and out. That's somewhat kind of what Philadelphia does when utilizing Jalen Hurts. Pretty interesting matchup here. I think I'm going to go with the Eagles here. I think overall they are a better squad than the Steelers. I think the Eagles could have a chance to make the number 1 seed if the Bills do beat the Lions. They'd both be 12-2 if I'm right with this pick and whatnot if they win. So this is a big game for them moving forward, even though it's an AFC team, wouldn't really affect playoff seeding and whatnot. But yeah, it would, everything late in the season kind of affects playoff seeding. So every game matters. Going with the Eagles.
Yeah, this is one of the better games here. This one is definitely intriguing for sure. Wow, a lot of people are taking the Eagles. I don't blame you. The Eagles are the number 1 rushing team in the league. We were talking about Saquon obviously being up for MVP. He's been awesome. And that's the reason the Eagles have been winning games. It's not because Jalen Hurts is awesome. It's not because we're talking about Jalen Hurts also being in the MVP conversation anymore, like we kind of were a couple years ago. A.J. Brown has come out and said they need to improve on passing. I think Tomlin comes out, stacks the box, shuts down Saquon. Pittsburgh creates a couple of turnovers, and they get out of this game with a win on the road. Give me the Steelers. I think they're going to come in, and they're going to blow the doors off the Eagles.
I got to agree with you, Chris. I mean, that's what pretty much my take was going to be. Like, the Pittsburgh Steelers have that defense that could really stifle this Philadelphia Eagles team. And I think this is going to be Philly's, like, first real challenge. And, like you know how we were talking about the Bills and the Lions being, like, a Super Bowl preview? This very well could be another one. So this is a great AFC versus NFC matchup. I don't think, I'm just alluding to it. I'm not saying that this is a Super Bowl matchup, but it very much well could be, and then that would be pretty funny. The whole state of Pennsylvania is going crazy.
That'd be nuts.
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think their defense is way too well equipped to handle this Philadelphia Eagles team. The corners on Pittsburgh, though, do concern me in terms of playing against Philadelphia's passing game. So hopefully they were able to, spread the defense out well enough to limit both the run and the pass, because I think if, they get passing well, this could be a very big problem for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But their front seven, I wouldn't take any other front seven against theirs. So let's keep it moving to the last 4 o'clock game. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And, man, this 4 o'clock window is loaded with a lot of good games. Honestly, the only bad game arguably was the New England Patriots and the Arizona Cardinals. Baker Mayfield going to LA, playing Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a stunner of a win here. And, they got a lot to prove, man. They are, I think leading the NFC South right now, and they want to get some big-time separation from the Atlanta Falcons. And now is the time to do it. It will be shocking if they do get a win. I'm not gonna lie to you because the Chargers arguably are the better team on all phases of the ball, but I think Baker Mayfield is just gonna will them to victory somehow. I just have that like feeling in my gut that Baker is just gonna absolutely tear apart this Chargers defense, unless Derwin James is just a menace on the field because that's their deciding factor on the defensive side of the ball. What do you guys got here?
You want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I was gonna say, also, you brought up like D lines. The Chargers D line is pretty sick this year too. So I think they're gonna get after it when it comes to getting after Baker. And he's gonna just be in distress the whole time. I'm taking the home team here. I'm gonna fade you. I'm gonna take the Chargers. I think they're well coached. I still need to see more out of Justin Herbert. I mean, who the hell is he throwing the ball to outside of Quentin Johnston or whatever his name is? But I think this defense wins this game for a team in Tampa that's kind of banged up. And when Baker is under a lot of pressure, he takes a lot of shots. So this is going to be a very winnable game for the Chargers if they could create turnovers.
Buccaneers need this game pretty badly to keep pace with the Falcons for the lead in their division. And if not, they're completely out of the playoffs, so it's tough. I'm going to rock with the Chargers, though. Give me the Bolts. I think that the 8-5 Chargers are very hard to believe that they're 8-5, but it's kind of cool to see. They almost beat the Chiefs last week, but their black magic somehow made it happen. Taylor Swift up in the booth making the kick go back into the freaking uprights. But yeah, Tampa Bay, they could easily win this game because they really, really, really need this win a lot. But I think I'm going to go with the Chargers. I feel like they're the better team at this point of the season on paper. I'll take us to the next game, though. Big Sunday Night Football matchup. Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, home of the 12s. Green Bay has not won in Seattle since 2008. We have not had very much success in this stadium, dating back to like the Brandon Bostic onside kick, the Fail Mary. But we do lead the overall series all time against the Seahawks, 15 wins to 9 losses, or 15 wins for the Packers, 9 wins for the Seahawks, I should say. This is going to be a good game. As of right now, this is the current matchup in the playoffs. The 6-seed Packers going to Seattle to face off against the 4-seed Seahawks. So this will be interesting. I think I'm obviously going to go with the Packers here, but this game's going to be very close. It has potential to be a Seahawks win. The Packers do need this game to pretty much lock up a playoff spot. If they win, they would have a 99.9% chance of making the playoffs. So odds would be very good. Right now they have like a 97% chance. So odds are still good, but overall really want to win this game and secure that victory and that's in that playoff spot. Josh Jacobs had a hat trick last game. He's known to have good games against the Seahawks. Hopefully he has another one. Alexander and Dobbs back at practice. Hopefully they go. And just hopefully we're going to activate Musgrave off IR. So a lot of things going on with injuries. We lost 2 safeties last week, but hopefully the boys get it done.
Dude, that Josh Jacobs game against the Seahawks, like I want to say last year or 2 years ago, absolutely ruined me.
Amazing.
I was playing someone in fantasy and they had Josh Jacobs. Oh my god, dude! I was just like looking at it, like stop running, please stop. And then he got in the end zone for that game-winning touchdown. It was insane. Man, this is a really good matchup. You got 2 teams. Like you said, right now, if the season ended today, this would be the playoff matchup, which would be pretty interesting to see. Honestly, like this is going to be a big test for both teams, and I think Green Bay comes out on top. It concerns me what you said that you guys don't have success there in Lumen Field. I'm still going to rock with the Packers. I think they are the team to win this one, but man, Seattle is starting to find ways to get this offense clicking. Gino is looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
they won 4 in a row.
Yeah, so if they can keep rolling, if Jackson Smith and Jigba continues being, the highly drafted rookie that he is, second year now, but like the reason they drafted him so high is because he makes key plays. DK Metcalf needs to step it up a little bit, and I think the Seattle team can continue ascending, but I think they get stifled by the Green Bay Packers team on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a shootout for sure. Both teams allow a lot of passing yards, and both teams throw for a lot of passing yards. A lot of what you said does concern me, Joey, about the Packers not having success here at this stadium. I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers, though, on the road and hope that Seattle wins. But I'm going to take the Packers on the road. And I just think it really comes down to coaching, and it's going to be LaFleur against a rookie head coach. So I think I'm going to take LaFleur every time, no matter what. But I'll take it to a Monday Night Football special. We got the Chicago Bears going to Minnesota to play the Vikings on Monday night. It's going to be a good game. We're pretty much out of it, but I think for the most part, hopefully a lot of the starters are still going to be out there, except for Brisker. He's MIA with that concussion still. Hopefully he's all right, and we'll come back at some point. But I'm rocking with my boys. You know I can't pick against them. Minnesota looked nasty last week. Sam Darnold threw for like 5 touchdowns. Looked pretty sick. Not looking good for the boys on Monday Night Football. I don't know why they keep putting us in these kind of games. Like, we always get demolished on primetime games. This is going to be bad, but I'm going to watch for sure.
I'm going to go with the Vikings. They are not slowing down anytime soon at all, which kind of sucks. I thought they would kind of hit a wall after their bye, and they just haven't. They've been rolling. I saw it was like a graphic that the Lions, Packers, and Vikings have only lost to like one team outside of each other all year, or like two. They've combined for like one loss to like one team, which is kind of wild. And they've only all lost to each other, which is crazy. So maybe Chicago adds to that and shakes up the NFC North a little bit. I don't think so. I think Minnesota keeps rolling here on Monday night. Kind of a weird 11-2 team that I don't think should be, but what do I know? They did kick my team's ass last time we played.
Man, oh man. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. They are debuting their icy white, their like Superman, whatever,
Playing
Kryptonian
side
freaking
losers.
uniforms. Yeah, they're wearing their new all white uniforms. They're going to, be frosty out there against the Chicago Bears. It sucks for Chicago. They keep on getting put in like these, like what Chris said, these like primetime matchups. As far as what Chris said about the starters still being out there, I do agree. You guys got that interim head coach, and you want that team to, see what he can do with that team because, in the meantime, maybe he's a coach of the future. Maybe he's like what your guys is like next Antonio Pierce if you guys keep him along and stuff like that. Let's see what happens there. But, man, this Minnesota Vikings team, they never fail to prove us right, every single week. Last week, I think you guys all went with the Falcons, and I went with the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins return, and, man, they demolished them. So that defense is no joke, and the offense is above average. Sam Darnold is playing pretty well. I wouldn't say, early on in the year we were touting him like, MVP talks maybe, but he's definitely simmered down a bit. But overall, this Minnesota Vikings team is too good to lose this matchup against the Chicago Bears at this moment. Now we're going to go to the other game on the Monday night doubleheader special. This one's an 8:30 kickoff. It's between the Atlanta Falcons and the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not going to waste your guys' time. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons unless Kirk Cousins has a primetime Kirk situation because he always cripples under these like big-time moment games. So he did it last week. I know it wasn't a primetime game, but returning back to Minnesota, you got to put up a better performance, man. And then also the division is still out there for grabs. So Atlanta's not dead yet, but they have a lot of work to be done, and the offense needs to get right back on track because that is their bread and butter. The defense only plays well when the offense is doing well for this Atlanta Falcons team. So the offense needs to come out and be the better supporting cast because once they set up a good lead, then that defense can tee off and do whatever they want. So yeah, give me the Atlanta Falcons here.
Give me the Raiders, man. I think that Kirk fucks this thing up on Monday Night Football. I think he's a total loser. Hasn't been good at all this year. I think Homer Simpson's thrown more touchdowns than him last week. Fuck that guy with a wooden spoon. I'm going with the Raiders.
Honestly, I think like if Kirk Cousins struggles by like halftime and they're losing at halftime to the Raiders, they're probably gonna put Michael Penix Jr. in.
That'll be interesting.
Because this division is still very much up for grabs, and if they have the chance to go out and win this division, the Falcons will try to do that. And if Kirk Cousins is not putting them in that place, he's done. He throws for a lot of yards. I think he's like third in yards right now. in the league behind like Burrow and I think Lamar Jackson or something like that. So it's not like he's not doing a ton of the good things because he is, but he just needs to limit some turnovers and throw some more touchdowns. And this Raider team sucks. They're pretty much tanking for Shador Sanders. We all know it. So give me the Falcons. They're going to win this game. On Monday night, if they don't, they're screwed. They're dead in the water.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And if they, like what I said about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went against the Chargers, then, they're going to be pulling away from the Atlanta Falcons team, and that's the only team really competing with them for that NFC South crown. So, let's see. And like you said, Kirk Cousins third. First is Joe Burrow. Second is Geno Smith. And they're only separated between Joe Burrow and Kirk less than 300 yards between the two. So one big game out of the either or, and it could really separate or close the gap there. But that does it for Week 15's picks. No buys, no more for the remainder of the season.
All right.
Yeah. This is the
Home
second
stretch, man.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see what a lot of these teams end up doing. A lot of these teams, make or break games this week, and a lot of good matchups, honestly. Like, aside from the 1 o'clock slate, like, everything that we talked about after was pretty much really good games. So,
yeah,
I'm really excited. I'm hoping, my team, the Miami Dolphins, get a big win. It'll be very much needed for, their playoff aspirations. I think if they do lose this one, though, you can pretty much write off playoffs for the Miami Dolphins. I think it's just an insurmountable feat to come over, and, you have a bunch of teams ahead of you already that, if they keep winning, you're already out as is. So, but you can only control what you control. Get a win here, and hopefully the Dolphins can advance.
Yeah, Monday Night Football is going to be a tough watch yet again. But here we are, to say the least, another year looking forward to the draft.
That's tough, yeah. Yeah, big game Sunday night for my boys, man. We gotta win this one. Wearing the all white uniforms, all white helmets, all white pants. Not sure if the Seahawks are wearing their color rushes as well.
I know they're wearing their green tops.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, then this uniform matchup is going to be badass. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun watch. Hopefully my boys come out on top and get the W.
There we go. All right, y'all. That concludes Week 15 NFL Game Picks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.